Did you know the US once had a secret plan to tear itself apart? In 1861, America was on the verge of collapse. 11 southern states had seceded, forming their own nation, the Confederacy, with an economy and a constitution built squarely on the institution of slavery. President Abraham Lincoln was determined to hold the nation together, but he faced a critical question. How do you wage war against your own people without destroying the very country you're trying to save? While the public and politicians clamored for a swift, decisive battle to end the rebellion, one aging general, Winfield Scott, saw things differently. He proposed a strategy that was both brilliant and brutal. Instead of a direct, bloody assault, Scott suggested a slow, suffocating squeeze. His idea, later dubbed the Anaconda Plan, aimed to choke the Confederacy into submission. First, the Union Navy would blockade every southern port, cutting off vital trade and supplies from Europe. Next, Union forces would seize control of the massive Mississippi River, effectively splitting the Confederacy in two and severing its western states from its eastern heartland. Initially, the plan was widely mocked. Newspapers called it cowardly and slow, a far cry from the glorious battle everyone imagined. But Lincoln saw the long-term wisdom in Scott's strategy. He understood that the North's industrial might, its powerful navy, and its larger population gave it the advantage in a war of attrition. While the public demanded a quick victory, Lincoln quietly set the Anaconda Plan into motion. The war for the nation's soul would be won not just with bullets, but with a The Mississippi River became the central artery of the conflict. It wasn't just a body of water. It was the key to victory. The Union deployed a new kind of weapon, powerful, steam-driven, ironclad gunboats that could withstand cannon fire and dominate the riverways. A grueling campaign began, with Union forces pushing down from the north and up from the south. Cities like Memphis, New Orleans, and the heavily fortified Vicksburg became scenes of horrific, waterborne battles. Soldiers fought on muddy riverbanks and floating fortresses, as control of the river swung back and forth. The turning point came on July 4, 1863, when the Confederate stronghold of Vicksburg finally surrendered after a brutal siege. With its fall, the Union gained complete control of the Mississippi. The Anaconda had finally tightened its grip. The Confederacy was sliced in two, isolating Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana and crippling the South's ability to move troops and supplies. The plan was working, but the cost was staggering. Thousands had died, cities were left in ruins, and the river itself was a witness to the nation's agony. But the war wasn't just fought on major battlefields. A shadow war raged in the border states Missouri, Kentucky, Maryland, and Delaware. These were states torn by divided loyalties, where the line between Union and Confederate was blurred. Families were ripped apart as brothers chose opposing sides. Neighbors became spies, and small towns turned into hotbeds of guerrilla warfare. To keep these crucial states in the Union, Lincoln employed a mix of political maneuvering, public persuasion, and, when necessary, martial law. The Anaconda Plan was as much a psychological campaign as a military one, designed to crush the will to rebel and preserve the fragile idea of a single United States. By 1865, the strategy had paid off. The southern ports were sealed, the Mississippi was a Union highway, and the Confederacy, starved of resources and fractured internally, collapsed. The Union was preserved, but the victory revealed a haunting truth. To save itself, America first had to break itself. The nation was stitched back together, but the deep scars of that division, scars of economy, race, and politics, remain visible even today. A century later, America would win the race to the moon. But in the 1860s, it fought a far more desperate race, not to reach for the stars, but simply to keep from falling apart. If you found this hidden chapter of history fascinating, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories you were never told in school. Thanks for watching.